Run away! He's seen us. How? Oh, we're supposed. I guess we're supposed to be here. Fine!
Welcome, Reaper fans. Today we have a very special miniature. This is Dances with Death, or Dances with Dragons, whichever you may prefer. This is a huge miniature. It's an absolutely beautiful sculpt, a showpiece for sure. I'm going to be painting this up today to a nice tabletop standard for you all, and we shall see how we get on. I will be mounting this onto a 160mm base boss base. The dragons aren't stuck to the miniature, so they're just hanging on there. I'm just waiting for them to fall off. What we're going to do is we're going to paint the base, and we're going to paint the two dragons separate and then stick them all together later on today. So I will come back once I've done the primer coat. What I'm going to do today is I will be adding to the base. So my first point of call is I will show you how I'm going to add some more clay work to the 160mm base, because I want all the rocks on the base to be matching. So I have a little bit of clay work to do, but it's going to look great. So come join the fun today. Just to show you with the dragons, there are a couple of gaps. You can just see it just there on the arm, and certain other places just around the joints on the other arm as well. It's not truly flush with the miniature, and like always I use my Valleco plastic putty to just fill in all those little gaps. So we get all those filled in first before we add our primer coats. Okay, the base has been stuck together now. I've got a 160mm base boss base. I have got a little bit of air hardening clay, no particular brand, and I've got a couple of sculpting tools if I need them, and I have a little tub of water. Now what I'm going to do is I want to add a few more rocks to this base, just at the bottom on the base there. So all we're doing is I will add some rocks with the air drying clay. Now I want it to go in the same direction as the rocks that are already on the base, so I'm just putting that one there, and I think we'll just have a little one here, and one on the other side. With the air drying clay, once it dries it will come away with the base. All you do then is you stick it back onto the base with some PVA glue. Okay, so simple enough. I'm actually going to use some water, and I'm going to start marking off this piece of rock here. Just using the water and the clay to sculpt the lines like on the rocks. That means you can just see behind this piece of clay. Very simple, just adding some lines, just cutting into the rock. There we are. Just using my finger to support this piece. Right, it needs to, as you can see, it's out of sync with there, so it needs to go higher. So I'm going to push it up a bit more. And it's not easy trying to keep it in camera and show you at the same time, so please forgive me. Just have to go like that. There we are. Keep it more upright. So all we're trying to do is copy roughly what's going on with the rocks in the background. Just adding lines along. Working with clay is great fun because you can practically do anything you want with the clay. we're cutting across the lines to try to copy what the sculptors have done on the actual miniature. And once the whole miniature has been painted, these will blend in and look exactly the same as what's going on in the background. All I'm doing is adding lines to the clay. I'll let the clay dry then, and I'll stick it back to the base. I will add PVA glue to the base, and I will add gravel to the rest of the base. Then I shall give the whole base coat an undercoat of grey. And I'll be able to do my dry brushing and blend it all together so it looks all one with the base. Like I say, working with clay is fantastic fun. It is quite a fragile medium, so it's not recommended for posting really, but if you wrap it very well you can get away. I have posted a few different items made from clay in the past and they have got to their destination perfectly well. So there we are, that's all we need to do for now. It's just very roughly, you just want to try and make it add to the base. What I'll do, I'll let that dry a bit more, then I can add a bit more. I can take a bit more off the clay. At the minute it's a little bit too dry to carry on, but I need to let it dry off a little bit more and then I'll add a bit more. So I'll come back once I've got the base and the PVA glue stuck on, and I'll show you how it looks before I do the primer coat. So what I've done here is I have stuck the clay back onto the base with PVA glue. I've added my gravel and I've given a stone grey paint primer to the whole miniature, and it looks fantastic. Like I said to you, the clay will blend in. Once that primer coat is on, it looks like it's all part of the base. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to quickly get this base done up fast and simple. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a black ink wash, and I'm going to cover the whole base with a black ink wash, and then I'll come back and we'll fly through the dry brushing and get that base done. The ink wash has been applied. I use the black ink wash over the whole miniature, and it's looking absolutely beautiful now. So the final part for this base is I am going to be using some Graveyard Bone by MSP and some Meadow Green by MSP, and I have an Army Painter terrain brush, and we're going to fly through this together now. And all we're doing is going straight into our Graveyard Bone, taking off the excess, and we're going all over the miniature. This will give us that instant highlight on all the rocks that we need. Super easy, super fast, and the job's done. Just go over the whole miniature. A little bit more harder on the tops. So you have a little bit more highlight in there. And the peaks, all the little rocks. Let's give a little extra oomph of colour. Look at that, already fantastic, absolutely beautiful. just on the tops now. We're just working on the tops, giving each of the raised areas a little extra of the paint, just on the tips of each rock. This just emphasizes that part of the rock more. As you can see, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. This is a fantastic looking rock. There we are. That's all I'm going to do with that colour. And now I shall go straight into that meadow green. With the meadow green, I'm working around the base of the rock. Working in where the shadows were. There we are, beautiful. Just go up the rock a tiny bit. That gives a lovely effect. Just mainly around the base. And the little rocks are made out of clay. Just around the bottom of them. Oh yes, love it. There we are. That is awesome. So what I'll do now is I'll wait for my paint to dry here. Now all I do now is with a brown ink wash, I will put tiny little bits of brown ink wash in various places around the miniature. This gives a little bit of definition and variety to the rock, and once the paint's dry I'll quickly show you that too. And that base then will be done. I'm not going to add any flocking or grass to this base because it's quite a desolate looking piece of rock. It's the type of, it looks like it doesn't have any kind of vegetation, so I think it looks nice as it is. I will go around the base of course with a MSP Dragon Black to finish off the base there, and I'll come back and I'll show you that. But let's get cracking on with our dragons too, eh? Both my dragons have now had their undercoat. We have green and we have a desert yellow. Now you've seen a few videos where I highlight the dragons, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you what paints I'm going to use, and then I'll come back once I've done all the highlighting and everything on the dragon. Otherwise the videos are just going to be repetitive and that's not much fun for anybody. So for the green dragon I will be doing my dry brushing with some Naga green and some highlighting with alien goo, and this will be going up the scales like I showed you before, and we just follow the scales all over the miniature, and that will be the green one done, ready for its ink wash. And the same with the desert yellow dragon. I'm going to use some pale saffron by MSP, and I'll go up all the scales dry brushing, and then I will go over with a light brown ink wash on this dragon. So once I get to that stage I'll come back and show you how they're looking. Okay, dry brushing, highlighting and ink washes have been added to both dragons. Now I'm going to add Dragon Black to all the claws and all the horns. I'm going to start working on the wings, and I will come back once I've got all those painted up. It's quite a simple paint with these dragons. It's all dry brushing techniques. I will work on the teeth and I will come back once I've got all those parts done. The wings, I will be adding a little bit of highlighting to the wings. I will probably go over with a very light ink wash, take off the ink wash like I showed you before with my tissue effect, how I use my tissues where I put the ink wash on and take some of the ink wash off. So you're getting a nice detail being brought out by the ink wash, but you're also giving a nice highlight to the center of the wings. Okay, so we're coming up to the final parts of our dragons now. As you can see, I've done all the wings and they got the effects, and I think they look fantastic. Very simple to do, and it works really well. It's a quick and effective method to get your dragons out on the table. Now, I've added some dragon white to the mouth and the eyes, as you can see just here, and I'm going to use dragon black to pick out the teeth and add the pupil to the eyes. Now, in the mouth, what I do with my dragons is I always paint the inside of the mouth white with dragon white, and then I'll go over with the colour I want for the inside of the mouth. In this case, we're going to be going for a nice pink mouth, so I'll put in the pink, let that dry, and then I will paint in the teeth individually with the dragon black, and that will be those dragons just about finished. And I've done the same with the green dragon as well. Once the mouths have been finished and they're dry, I will then add some gloss varnish to both the dragons on the eyes and the mouth, and then I'll mount the dragons to the base, and I'll come back and I'll show you the finished miniatures. So here we have the finished miniature. Let me just give you a 360. It's quite difficult to give you a nice shot because it's such a large miniature. It just about fits in my frame of my camera. So sorry about the distance, but you can see how it's looking. It's absolutely beautiful. This was a fantastic build and paint. The yellow dragon came out beautiful. Absolutely love it. There we are. This is an absolutely stunning diorama. That will look good in anybody's display cabinet. Very nice indeed. So there we are. That's Dances with Dragons. So let me show you what's for next week on the painting table. Next week's build and paint, the Court of the Abyss. Absolutely fantastic box set. This comes with 5 demons, and next week I'll be showing you how to paint this up. This is your old school minis. This is a fantastic piece of kit. If you love your demons, then this is one you'll want to watch next week. Okay, so if you are enjoying the channel, then please subscribe. If you want to support the channel, then please become a patron. All patrons are added to the end credits of all my videos. So until next time.
Goodbye, my fellow ones. Sleep well. Dream of evil paintbrushes.